You can watch the financial mainstream or alternative media, and they will have a so-called financial expert to talk to you about which stocks to invest in, which are going to make you the best gains, and why everything is going up and up and up. But what about those living on fixed incomes? What about those who are dependent on a paycheck coming in? What's going to happen to them? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we are going to look at the severity of the situation. Let's begin. 1 in 3 Americans has $0 saved for retirement. This is a critical situation that doesn't get enough attention, but what else is new? It's not a small percentage of the people. We're talking about 33%. They don't have a dime to their name set aside for retirement. You do have a small percentage of the people that have a lot of money saved for retirement. And it seems that the bulk have either very little money or have no money at all saved for retirement. So what happens if you don't have any money, the paychecks stop flowing in? That's not going to last very long before you're in big trouble. So people won't retire. That's the truth. And I'll show you more about that in a moment. People will not be able to retire because they simply can't live on the amount of money they have. And sure, they could try and downsize and they can live off of the cheapest type of foods. They don't go on any vacations. They walk to places. They don't take a car. They sell their car. They take the bus when needed. They ride their bicycle. And they can try every method possible to reduce the amount that they're spending. But if they don't have income coming in some way, and they don't have a way to reduce their expenses any further, and they keep adding up, perhaps with healthcare bills or anything else, they're in big trouble. So the fact is that they'll have to keep on working. But what if they're not well? Well, that spells disaster. How much millennials, Gen X, and boomers have saved for retirement? We are looking at these numbers here. The millennials, they don't have any retirement savings, which, you could argue that's okay for the millennials, but it's still a high percentage. We're looking at 42%. But look at the boomers and the seniors. We're looking at those 55 plus, right? 28% don't have retirement savings. And then you look at the 17.3 have less than 10,000, and it goes on. Again, talking about this as a whole, when you look at even the Gen X, 35 to 54-year-olds, 30% of those people don't have any retirement funds at all. They don't have a way to pay for their expenses when it comes time to retire. So let me reiterate, they won't be able to retire. And if you think that the government's going to be there to bail out each and every person, I don't see that happening. I really don't see that happening, because already they're trillions in the hole for the amount that they owe people, owe the government, owe themselves, I should say. Looking at this next one. Older workers at all income levels are almost 1/3 short on retirement savings. So no matter where you look at that, all throughout, they can't afford their lifestyle. They can't afford to live because of the amount of expenses that they will incur. There's no way they'll be able to do this. You can't give them government money, government handouts for every single person that's about to retire. The baby boomers, we're talking about a huge group of people that are not prepared, that are not going to be able to withstand the shock of not working. But as they become older, that might become more difficult for many of them. By the time they're 65, a lot of these people are simply not fit to work anymore. And maybe they have to go on to 70, but still the same situation just gets worse and worse as the years go on. Sure, some can work, some can continue to work, that's for sure, and some may enjoy working. But the fact is that if you have to work to pay your bills, It's not as if, you want to volunteer somewhere, you want to retire, and maybe you just want to do 3 days a week, a few hours a day. We're talking about people who just need to consistently be working because the bills keep adding up, and you add healthcare costs and everything else. People aren't doing well in that. And then you factor in the US, for example, healthcare costs rising, the premiums have risen dramatically. It's just going to get worse for them. Relying on Social Security. This is a huge mistake. I always talk about this, talked about it in my books, talk about it all the time. Nearly 20% of Social Security recipients 65 and older have no other income. For 33%, Social Security accounts for at least 90% of their income. Think about that. 20% of the people, they have no other source of income. They're relying on the Social Security. They're relying on the government paycheck coming in to be able to live. Now that is frightening. You have to figure, some people, look, that's the situation they're in. Don't judge them. It's okay. But let's just take it statistically. That is extremely dangerous. What happens if all of a sudden the government says, okay, we were giving you $1,000 a month. Now all we can give you is $800 a month. All of a sudden, these people are going to be really, really screwed over. What if they need $900 a month? They all of a sudden have to start digging in to their savings if they have any. That wouldn't last very long, of course. It's insane because the way that the government works is they give you that safety net saying when you retire, you're going to have income coming in. So people feel very confident in that. They'll think, you know what? I live a simple life, I'll be fine. It doesn't work like that, okay? Because expenses rise as time goes on. It's not like you can live on a fixed income. Fixed incomes are not suitable for most people because they're not self-sufficient. They're not growing their own food in their backyards, or at least maybe more than a small percentage of it. They don't have their own source of water. They don't have their own source of electricity. They don't have any means of providing for themselves. So costs rise, it's mathematical certainty that they will be screwed over in the future. And I'm worried about that because a lot of people are getting hurt. And all the mainstream media, all the alternative media out there, they just keep on talking about which stocks to buy. What about the people on the streets? What about the people who are suffering and who are going to suffer in the coming years? Nobody gives a damn about them. The people that are suffering. All they care about is lining their pocketbooks. That's it. Anyway, I'll move on. The new reality of old age in America. This is an interesting article here out of the Washington Post. I'm going to work until I die, says one 74-year-old in a generation finding it too costly to retire. It's just basically examples, different people going through what they're doing, the suffering that they're encountering. It's a reality for a lot of people. I've had so many people contact me and tell me that this is what the situation that they're in. It's like a plague that's going on. And look at areas of Europe, for example, where they keep raising the retirement age. They're saying, well, you know what, we were going to start paying you at 65, but yeah, it's going to be 67 now. And then 2 years pass and it's going to be, oh, right, we said 67. Yeah, it's going to be 69 now, and then 71, and then 75, and then 100. It just doesn't matter. They'll figure out a way to screw each and every person over. Financial anxiety in 2016, 76% of American adults have worried about a financial issue this year. The top concerns are, number one, healthcare. What did I say? That's healthcare expenses and bills being right at the top there. Lack of emergency savings. Why? Because they don't have any. Lack of retirement savings because they don't have any. Credit card debt because they've been racking it up over the years because everyone said that was a good idea. Don't worry about it. Mortgage, rent payments, obviously. Market volatility and so on. Okay, we're looking at a lot of problems. It doesn't matter. People are not prepared. People are not ready. And it doesn't matter what age group they're in. They're not going to be ready simply because they're always told that they have a safety net there. And that is not the case. They'll learn the hard way. And that is very, very unfortunate. passionate. I'm here to just bring out the truth, to speak the truth, and I'm ridiculed every single day, but that's okay. I'm here to just bring it out, and whatever happens, happens. That's all right. If somebody wants to ridicule me, please, by all means, do so. Give me a thumbs down. It helps me out and the YouTube channel, so I appreciate that. Give me a negative comment too. Help push these videos higher up in the YouTube search rankings. If you found the video informative though, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. I'd appreciate a positive comment. And last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you'll find my books, The Money GPS, and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. You can actually flip through these books. If you go over to Amazon, they have a look inside feature that allows you to flip through the pages of these books to see if you like them. Take care.